Who knew we could actually have, for once, a diving episode? Like, yeah, that actually happened. I mean, what's diving doing in my drinking anime? What the hell? Like, pretty strange. But okay, jokes aside, though, we actually had an episode somewhat dedicated to diving, and the reaction from our characters pretty much summarized my reaction. Diving? Like, when you become fully aware of the fact that all of our characters are a part of a diving club, but most of the time, all they're doing is just drinking, partying, having fun, and that's pretty much about it. So, it's just pretty enlightening, fourth wall breaking, and enjoyable just to see something like that. But okay, so apparently, from what I was told today on social media, is that this was an episode kind of animating extra chapters. And what I mean is, like, chapters that are not a part of the main manga, but like little extra side story chapters that come out, apparently from what I heard. I could be wrong there, but that's what I heard. And apparently this is a good thing. Like, many are actually very happy that Grand Blue just adapted extra chapters, because that means that most likely other extra chapters will be adapted in the future. But honestly, if this really was extra chapters, they fit so well with this series. I didn't think there was anything really different about it. It felt like a normal episode to me, and I truly just had a lot of fun watching it. Even though not a whole lot really happened, and I know this video is going to be rather short, it was still a hell of a fun episode. Probably one of my favorite episodes of Grand Blue to date. So let's get into the beginning portion of the episode. It seems like the entire scum gang, like all the scummy people, have flocked together to form one unit to work together to cheat for a test. A German test did that. Like, that entire beginning, I don't know why, but the teacher, the professor, reminded me a lot of the principal from Prison School. If you've ever watched Prison School, if you haven't watched it or read the manga, then honestly, go read or watch it. That's a great series. But the professor reminded me a lot of the principal. I don't know, the way his look in his eye when he just looked and all that, he's like, James Thomas. I'm like, I don't know why, but the facial expression that man made in that moment, I was just cracking up. Like, I paused the video and I actually started laughing because it was that good. I just did not expect something so serious from this man, doing like a German test, and then he just says, James Thomas, and all that in English. And honestly, it sounded really good for English. Like, it legit sounded like a really good English pronunciation of James Thomas. I just didn't expect that. I'm so used to English and all that, I didn't think I would hear something that good. But yeah, that entire scene was great. But let's talk about what happened within the scene. How all these scummy friends worked together to try to cheat on this test. Honestly, hashtag relatable. Like, it is very relatable. Now, I'm not saying I cheated in high school, but I remember cheating back when I was younger. I forget the exact age, but I remember there was quite a few tests I took where I had to remember certain information, and I remember writing something down on a little piece of paper and sliding it into my long sleeve at winter, and I remember slightly pulling it out every time I needed to remember something, and I'm like, here you go, and I just started writing, and just seeing in how this episode was and how they tried to hide cheats and stuff, I'm like, that's pretty freaking relatable, trying to figure out how to work around like a test or something, and just seeing how some were in the pencil case, to, some were hiding, like, flexing their arms, to, some individuals, they just had it, like right in front of their face or whatever, or on a fan. Just the way they had things going and how they were hiding their cheats, or the cheat sheet, it was, pretty relatable. I think many can relate to how this episode went, but at the same time, this is kind of why it's so hard now to cheat on tests nowadays, I think, because teachers now pretty much know. Like, they legit know that there's going to be some individuals that try to cheat. They're either going to look at people's papers, or, they're going to have some form of cheats written somewhere on their hand or whatever, and usually teachers are really good about spotting these type of things. Like, it's one of the big reasons to why you can't actually have, like, a colored pencil case anymore. You actually have to have a clear see-through pencil case, which actually was, when I was going to high school, this was actually a thing. You could not have a dark pencil case, because you could hide your cheats inside of it when you have it on your desk. That was a big thing. I remember that in school. I remember my teachers talking about that. So that was pretty freaking funny in this episode. To the whole thing with, you know, just having it like you're flexing and all that. I've just seen people have stuff like that, do stuff like that, like hide it right in person. But here's my personal advice. If you're wanting to cheat or something, I mean, cheaters never win, but this is real life and sometimes cheaters do win. But if you want personal advice, the best way to hide something is right in someone's face. Usually that's the best way to go about it. If it's like right out in the open and you're just blending it in with everything, usually people are not going to notice it, honestly. Blending in with the common folk or whatever's going on in front of you, usually people won't notice it. And that's probably my best advice I can give you, but yeah. So anyways, after that entire segment, we have the middle portion, which is Keiki officially joining the diving club. And her introduction is pretty freaking funny. Like, she gets full-face view of all of them, what happens when they try to do rock, paper, scissors, strip rock, paper, scissors, but all of them just going about their day, just, you know, fitting in. And I mean, it's just really weird to see how Iori and all of them, and Kohei, you know, how they just fit in now with the group of characters, and they just go along with either, like, drinking, partying, or they just, you know, straight up just start, you know, taking off their shirts and stuff. I'm like, the way they've been able to, like, incorporate themselves or fit in with this group is pretty unnerving, just how quickly it came about. And seeing so, like, you know, Keiki just very shook, or not really knowing what to do, is pretty freaking cute. And I just love how throughout that entire scene, she was trying to figure out whoever was normal. Like, there has to be some normal people here. And eventually she turned to Nana and all that. It's like, hey, you know, you're normal. And then she just started drinking from the same cup that Chisa drunk from. I'm like, oh my god. And she's like, huh? Like, what was that? And then she just, you know, went the other way. She knew how freaky everybody was. And honestly, when you look at the situation, the only normal person in that entire club is Chisa. I mean, she's kind of like the straight man type character. Like, in a comedy parody series, there needs to be, you know, a straight man. And that's what Chisa is. She is that type of character that's, you know, straight-laced. She is someone that, you know, kind of keeps it real. She doesn't, you know, joke around or anything. She doesn't fall for the comedy. She keeps it real. And so I love her serious expression. She just really plays really well off of Iori and Kohei and all that. And I especially love certain scenes throughout this episode with Chisa. Like, oh my god. Like, look, Asusa is best girl. But the Chisa stuff, that's some quality, especially towards the end when we actually get into some diving, and we see how Iori ruins the entire moment and talks about Chisa. I'm like, oh my god. But you know what? I compliment that man. At least he knows what he likes, and he admitted to it. So, I mean, Chisa, at the very least, can be happy with herself knowing that it is a nice set she has, so yeah. But that's about it when it comes to this week's episode of Grand Blue. It's enjoyable, funny, has its moments, and honestly, I'm just so glad I watched this series, as I've said many times before. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, you know, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.